Time to get together to worship? Do you get reconnected? I need a little bit more reaction. Come on. Yeah, right? Yeah, for sure. So we're going through this series called The Places You'll Go, talking about the different doors and opportunities that God presents us. And after this morning's service, several people came up and told me stories, which is really cool. So if I can remember them, I'll try to share some tonight. But I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to hear how God's working in your life. There might just be a story out there that I'll ask you to come up here and share. Or if you don't do that, we can just do a little interview thing or something. But it is amazing to hear how God's working in your life. So don't keep that, oh, what a neat thing, and share that. I want to hear those stories. I want to share those stories with you. So tonight we're looking at when we're looking at these different opportunities and doors, we need to know a little bit about ourselves, how God created us, how God wired us, so that we can understand the doors and the possibilities. You see, self-awareness is essential to the offer of an open door. Sometimes we might see a door that's open that we think, boy, that is just for me. I'm jumping in with everything I got. And sometimes we might look at a door that says, wow, that's really cool. I don't know if I can do that. And, so we need to make sure we understand what is it that God has really put in us. We kind of talked about this last week a little bit, about our passion. What is that thing we talk about all the time that we can jump into, right? So let's look at this. We're looking at Romans 12:3. So this is Paul talking and writing this here. And he says, I am speaking to you out of deep gratitude for all that God has given me, and especially as I have responsibilities in relation to you. Living then, as every one of you does, in pure grace, it's important that you not misinterpret yourselves as people who are bringing this goodness to God. So there's that idea right there. Important that you not misinterpret yourselves. Making sure we understand what gifts we have, or what we can do, what our passions, what our talents are. We're not all created the same. How many type A personalities are in here? You like the order and the direction? Come on, raise your hand if you're a type A. And then type B, a little bit more kind of all over the place. Yeah? Oh, come on now. Not everyone's raising their hand. Come on, here we go. Type A, B, and then type B, right? So not everybody raised their hand. Who's a little bit of both? Did you like this, right? Yeah, you're out there too, right? For sure. But you see, it's important that we know about ourselves. And then it goes on here, you see it says, no, God brings it all to you. The only accurate way to understand ourselves is by what God is and by what He does for us, not by what we are and what we do for Him. Be aware of how God wired you. So when you're looking for these doors and these opportunities and seeing them placed in front of you, exactly what is this that attracts you to? Is it something really right up your alley? So we even see this in Revelation 3:8. We've kind of looked at this verse on and off throughout this little series here. And this was the angel of God talking to the church of Philadelphia. And he even kind of says this here. I see what you've done. Now see what I've done. I've opened a door before you that no one can slam shut. You don't have much strength. I know that. So you see, God knows. He goes, I know you don't have much strength. But here is a door just for you. You see, understanding doors God has set before me means I need to have some sense of what my gifts, my strengths, my weakness, and my interests are. And it even kind of goes along with that. There's probably all of us could be put in a situation and just do it. But is that really what we're excited about? Is it really what we're interested in? Is it our strength or is it our weakness? So, understanding this, there is a test out there that anyone can take, and it identifies your personality. And I did the test, and we show you what my results are, but I want you to take this test too. Several of you already have, and let's see, I'm going to pick on Steph. Steph took it, and Steph, was it dead on or was it wrong? Absolutely dead on. You answer maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 questions, just click 90 questions. 100, okay, keep going up, so take it soon. 120. So you take these questions, and then at the end, based on your answers, it puts you into one of these 16 categories. And pretty much the E's, if it starts with an E, it means you're extroverted. How many extroverts we have out here? The people that like to go out and pretty much just go out. Like 2 of us, 3, 4. And then everyone else is introvert, is that what you're saying? Right? I'm not interested in going out, I'll stay at home, right? All right, so that's okay. Explains a lot, but that's okay, right? So the ones that say I, those are the introverts. That's what that first letter stands for. And then each letter stands for something different. So you go through and you click, 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 and at the end it says, give me my results. Here's my result. I'm a campaigner. I know, not that impressive, a campaigner. But, so my 4 letters here, ENFP. And it's really cool because when you take this and then you read it, I don't know how they have I don't know how they do it, but they really do a good job. My son took it, and he agreed. Did you take it yet, Jennifer? Or a while ago? Or, yeah. And everything, it just hits it right on. It says extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and prospecting. So what does that mean? Go to the next slide and kind of give you a little idea. This person is truly a free spirit. They are often the life of the party, but unlike types of the explorer role group, campaigners are less interested in the sheer excitement and the pleasure moment than they are in enjoying the social and emotional connections they make with others. Charming, independent, energetic, compassionate. They nailed it, didn't they? Nailed it. The 7% of the population they comprise can certainly be felt in any crowd. So that tells us a lot about ourselves, and even what what vocations, what areas of interest. It really gives us good insight. So so this puts me in the company of, and this is kind of cute here at the end of who has the same personality type. Robert Downey Jr., Will Smith, Robin Williams, Drew Barrymore. So you can kind of look through those. Now the website I used for this one was called 16personalities.com. So it doesn't take but just a few minutes to do, but you kind of go through that. It'll even tell you what your weaknesses are, like what you aren't good at. Where's Josh at? Josh back there. Josh is one of his weaknesses was that he's overly competitive at times. I play softball with Josh.
Yeah.
They nailed that. Absolutely nailed it. Right, Josh?
Yep, nailed it.
He does. So it's very good, but it tells us a lot, and it's almost a little weird because you're like, yes. It's very good. So that was called 16personalities.com. You might want to try that. Another one here, as I went into ministries, is called the Strengths Finder. Kind of trying to help you identify your strengths. Mine came out as futuristic, positivity, my belief are always the top 3 my strengths there. We also have spiritual gifts. What are the things you really feel spiritually called for, spiritually led to? What are those gifts God has given you? On the umc.org website, right here, under this what we believe, there's a spiritual gifts thing you can take there. It says begin assessment. Again, you're just answering some questions, and at the end it kind of gives you you're a shepherd, you're good at administration, you're good at teaching. So it's kind of cool. Go ahead and take that, and see if you agree with it. And there might be something that you can offer here at New Way. It might be, wow, teaching was one of my highest things. Well, let me help out with that. Or mentoring was a big thing, or shepherding, taking care of people could be really, really high. And if you don't like any of those, there's one more. I have it on the table for you. There's a white piece of paper. If you grab that white piece of paper there, it's called the Real Discipleship Survey. Now this one is also done through our church. Thank you. And this is a freebie. Now this is somebody that does this professionally. He's developed this survey. And it kind of tells you about your faith journey. It kind of helps identify your strengths and weaknesses in your faith. So it's kind of cool. And if we do this as a church, it kind of gives us some idea too of our areas of strengths and weaknesses. Some things that maybe we should look at adding, or some things that maybe look at to help us be stronger. So it looks kind of complicated, all these words, but it's really pretty easy. You go to the website, you create an account, and then you take it. Then it'll give it. So take that piece of paper home, and there's more over here if there's not enough on your table. But run through that and see what you think. So it's all about kind of understanding, thank you, who we are. Right, a couple options here. So Ephesians 2, verse 10 here reminds us that we are created, or we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. So the cool thing is God will give you the skill and the interest to do what He asks you to do. So that's kind of neat as you come upon these open doors. And it might be something that you didn't even know you had in you, but God knows it's in you. God knows it's part of you. I had a lady talk to me after the morning service, said, I'm in the schools right now as a temporary sub, helping with a student with emotional special needs. Yeah, and she said, I never would have seen myself in that position. But she said, it's amazing. I absolutely love it. It's just something, God put me there, and I didn't know that I could do that. And it was really, really cool. This also kind of reminds me of Mason. My son's playing football, senior for the Prairie Panthers. They won on Friday night again, so that's very cool. So we're going to Mansfield on Friday if anyone wants to tag along, just straight out there. So the winner of that game goes into the Final Four. So we're in the top 8 of the state right now. But it's kind of interesting that they give you the skill to get this last game, and he broke set 2 new records: most extra points in a career and most field goals in a career. And so that's really cool because, that's cool. He's only been playing football for 2 years. Right? And it's like, huh? You can't do that if you only play for 2 years. But God will give you the skill and the interest to do, right? He played soccer all of his life. And then when the opportunity came, he stepped to it. And so I thought that was a really, really cool thing. When you're looking at these doors and what you do, great advice here, don't force it. Don't force it. Don't try to be that square peg into a round hole. Sometimes we want to do something, we just can't do it. Or we're just not wired that way to do it. But don't force it, don't push it to try to make it work. God has you created just perfect, just the way you are. And that's what we need to do. Matthew 20, chapter 20, verses 17 through 21 here. Gives us a little idea of this forcing the issue here. Now Jesus was going up to Jerusalem. On the way he took the 12 aside and said to them, we're going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and the teachers of the law. They will condemn him to death, and will hand him over to the Gentiles to be mocked, to be flogged, to be crucified. And on the 3rd day, he will be raised to life. Not a real big pep talk there, right? Pretty downer. And then this happens right after. Then the mother of Zebedee's sons came to Jesus with her sons, and kneeling down asked for a favor of him. What is it you want? He asked. She said, grant that one of these 2 sons of mine may sit at your right and the other at your left in your kingdom. So it's funny, if you put this situation in the context of, he just said, I'm going to be beaten, flogged, and I'm going to be killed and hung on a cross for you. And then the mother approaches and said, before you do all that, could I ask for one quick favor? Right? So forcing that issue. Forcing it, let it happen. Don't live through someone else's doors. Use what God has given you. That's the exciting thing. You're going to know when you step into that door, it's going to click and say, wow, this is exactly what God has created for me. Everything is just perfect about it. I can't wait to get started. So we have 2 options here when we, let's see which one you fall under here. You can either be impulsive or you will be resistant when God opens those doors. How many people are lean towards the impulsive side? Woo, let's do it. And everyone else is going to be, wait a minute, let's just see what's going on here, right? That's kind of what that resistance is. Right, well, we've got a couple examples here in the Bible we can look at. Impulsive, a man named Peter, we would put under the impulsive category. Being impulsive, I would put myself under this. You don't always think things through before you jump into them. What are you smiling and nodding heavily for?
We went to the movies one night and bought a couch. I always go back to that.
I tried to stop you
We were
from
not
it.
couch shopping, nothing. We went to the movies and we walked by. Oh, there's a sale. We better buy it right now. It didn't even fit in the door. And then it didn't even fit in the room. We had to put in just horribly impulsive. Very bad at that. I went to one of the movies. That's what it is.
Yep, I forgot about that one. It's one of the things on our list of being impulsive. And yeah, so let's talk about Peter, not about us, okay?
He needs our prayers.
Peter is one of the first disciples Jesus called. So Jesus came to him and said, "Come, follow me, and I will send you out to fish for people." And Peter impulsively, at once, left their nets and followed him. At once, he did it. Then we catch Peter in the middle of an ocean, in the middle of a lake, with the storm swelling around him, and he sees Jesus out walking towards him. And then he questions, he says, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water." "And come," he said. Peter again impulsively hopped out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. So impulsive is one way. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just one way we react to it, right? Then we have the resistance side, which are going to take a little bit more time, or maybe just really resist it all the way, say, "No thanks, it's just not for me." And we can look at the Gideon on this one here. So we're looking back in Judges chapter 6. Judges chapter 6, it says, "Pardon me, my Lord, but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest, and I am the least in my family." So he's been offered this opportunity from God. And he's like, "No thanks, not interested. Can't do it. I'm weak, I'm small, I'm puny. I can't do it." That's not the only place we see it. A little bit later here in the same chapter, he replies, "If I have found favor in your eyes, give me a sign that is really you talking to me." Again, kind of saying, whoa, let's slow this down. I'm not just going to jump into this. Two ways we respond to these doors. You see, when God opens a door for us, he gives us the strength for it. And that's really cool. Just like the lady that's now in the sub job, but she never pictured herself going. She has strength. All of a sudden, she's getting energy from it. She's understanding God's plan a little bit more for her life, and she stepped through that. And that is one area we just need to look at. You might step through a door, which might be a little surprising to you, but we know you're interested in it. You're wired for it. That's the way God made you. You just maybe end up becoming a new person from it. It may be a situation that affects your life so dramatically, you might just become a new person. And that is exactly what God wants in all of us. For all of us to become new in Christ. 2 Corinthians 5:17. "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, and the new is here." So this week, take those surveys. Those are pretty cool. Find out what you know about them. See how God's working in your life. And you might be looking at a situation right now saying, "Oh, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do this or not." And something might just click with you. Say, "Well, yep, that's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing." When that happens, please tell me. Let me know. Let's share some of these stories.